Once again, good afternoon. I'm here to discuss how we can sustain our dieting and healthy lifestyle. The major problem is not the awareness or the knowledge, but how can we continue to do it after we understand all we need to understand? Not something of a day or two and everything become history. You tell somebody, last year I was like this and I've been doing this and that, but now I've stopped, or last week or last month. Number one, if we are to improve our fiber intake, let me talk to us in the cheapest and affordable way, so that somebody will not say I don't have money, and like I said, it shouldn't look like a rich man's way of life. Number one, when you take, most of our fruits are rich in fiber. Apple is good, and some of our vegetables or leaves, some of our leaves like a moringa leaf that we have available, in some communities is free moringa leaf. When you eat it, it can serve as that. It's good for you. Normal spinach, even the other sour, this thing, I only know it in Hausa, it's called yakua. Those substances may not be absorbed, but they serve as good fibers, and they increase the size of your food to keep you full for a long time. Then when we talk about body movement exercise, walking is the cheapest and the best exercise, both for your heart, for your body, and for everything you are doing. Walking, normal walk, just walk for 20-30 minutes. If you can do it in the morning and do it in the evening, is very good. If you can't, then do it once, at least in the evening. Preferably after eating. After eating, take a walk. And as much as possible, try not to take your dinner late. Your dinner shouldn't exceed 6:37, so that you have like 2 to 3 hours window before sleeping. Then the next thing is, we have to also reduce the quantity, the amount of food we take. If you take a portion of a swallow, the normal Nigerian swallow we know, if you take a portion that is more than the size of your palms, when you cup your palms like this, the size of the swallow is bigger than this size. Please, you are eating more than expected. The good thing is, when you take a small size of swallow like this, you can make the soup to be much enough to be filling. The soup should be much, almost the same quantity with the swallow. Eat it and adjust over time. Don't say you are eating 3 square meal. It's not the right way of eating. I'm not condemning the 3 square meal or the 3 whatever, how we call it. I don't know how 3 becomes a square according to somebody. But we are not condemning the 3 times. But what's the quantity you are eating in that 3 period? When you take more than a swallow more than this size, and you take like 2 to 3 portions, and you take it 3 to 4 times a day, is a big problem. It's not good for you. There will be a lot of excess energy that will be saved in form of fats, and that fat is not healthy for your heart. It's not healthy for you. That's what is making you big, and that's what is making you to lose shape and add unnecessary weight. So if it is swallow, it shouldn't be more than the size of your palm. The size of it, not this one that you carry some size of swallow, they are just too big. Then if it is rice, you shouldn't cover your portion of rice this way more than twice. At least this size by 2, this size of rice by 2 at most, this size of rice by 2. Then you add your vegetables, cabbage, carrot, cucumber. Then you add your piece of protein, be it meat, egg, or anything. That should be the amount of rice you take. For the swallow, it shouldn't be more than this size, like I earlier mentioned. Then the same thing, even if it is pap or tea, a cup of tea of this size is fine. Just 150 to 200 mils, not even up to 200 mils. And you limit the amount of sugar you put. Not when you take a big bowl and you feel like your tea should be as big as this. No, it's not healthy for you. You may end up taking too much energy, and like I said, if you take in excess, it will be safe in form of fat. This cup size is just okay for your tea. Look at the size. As small as this is okay. Then when we talk about controlling of portion control, that's the portion control. The next thing is snacking. you have to regulate the amount of snack you take. Sometimes you may not be hungry, you just feel like eating groundnut. A single handful of groundnut, this size handful of groundnut is up to 200 calories. This size handful of groundnuts, walnut, this thing, peanuts, cashew nuts, and most of these nuts, almond nuts, all these nuts are rich because they have a lot of oil. So when you are taking your peanuts, make sure you include it in your food. If I know I'm going to take peanut, I will reduce my food so that after I'm done, that's granite, I will chew or I will eat my granite. Then if you must snack, like I said, include it in your meal officially. Be intentional about including it in your meal. The best way is to reduce unnecessary snacking. Our parents, our forefathers, our ancestors were hunters. There was no room for those trash. They were farmers, they were hunters, and they were doing well. There was no room for eating small cake, meat pie, apple, all these stories they were eating unnecessarily. There was no room for that. If you must eat those things, please regulate not just the amount, but incorporate it in your meal. The next thing is, when you feel like you are a bit hungry after eating, sometimes it's not hunger. Drink a lot of water. Water is good for you. Improve your sleep. When you don't sleep, it will also cause you issues. When you don't sleep, you will not lose the adequate amount of weight you are expected to lose, even if you are eating well. When you don't sleep, your system may not be as good, as stable as both your heart, every part of your system needs that sleep. You will be refreshed. You don't need to be tired and be taking painkillers and drugs and stuffs. Go and sleep and rest. Sleep minimum of 7 to 8 hours. Minimum of 7 to 8 hours. If you can sleep for that time, you will be refreshed. If you are tired, take a leave. 1-2 days leave will not stop you from earning. Take a leave and rest. Have the strength to go to farm the next day or the next week. Don't use drugs to suppress your stress. When the stress hormone is very high, it will impair a lot of things in your system. So these are the things I'm suggesting. Then the other thing I want to also emphasize is the issue of protein. Yes, some of us will say, I don't have money to buy meat. I have a simple solution. I suggested plant protein, but we have a lot of animal proteins that we are sometimes too selective. You may not like eating frog. You may not like eating snail. Please, let me advise us, like snail that is readily available during this rainy season. It's good we start learning how to eat snail. It's very good for us, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. You may not learn how to eat those things, but as much as you can, try. These are cheap, free. If you can eat snail, we have it a lot in the bush everywhere. We have a lot of grasshoppers, grass cutters. Grass cutter is readily available. I can assure you, a big size grass cutter can go below 2,000 naira, maybe 1,500 to 2,000. In fact, if you want me to give you link to hunters that access those meats, those bush meats, I will connect you with them. It's still good protein that can give you all you need from animal protein and still serve that your weight loss or whatever target. If you need the link, I can connect to some of those hunters. I'm not a hunter, but I know some of them because I also patronize them. It's good you do what you can afford and what you can sustain to do. You can use fish. Egg is affordable compared to other things. I think a kilo of meat is more than 6,000. But you can get a grass cutter, a big one, more than a kilo for that 2,000, for 1,500, 1,700. So let's use these things. Let's use available community, available resources, environment, the ones that are close to us, and make it sustainable. Make it sustainable. That's the goal. If you do it for a day or two and stop, you are not doing yourself any good. Then another thing is, if you feel like it's more expensive to spend on that protein, then you can consider spending it on drugs or medicine. And even if you are healthy or you are sick, this standard way of life can help you a lot to improve the effect of your medicine and to also save you from taking if you are not yet on any. So please consider, you have to choose between living healthy or buying chemicals that will do a lot of harm, because every drug has its own side effects. So you are dodging the healthy medicine and taking the expensive chemical that will cost you more money, damage your system, and possibly not give you the results this natural guide will give you. Thank you. Consider that I will still drop more guide and tips about a healthy living. Thank you.